another series of our bariatric cooking classes. Because of the holidays, I thought that I would make a recipe that would bring the flavors that we're used to in the holidays, but of course with a healthy twist. So today we're going to make some turkey breast, and we're going to use the air fryer. Some of you may recognize this recipe that we have done in the past, but we wanted to be able to showcase to you these recipes in one of our short videos, because you can find this recipe in our YouTube channel, but it is an hour-long video. So this way you can learn how to make this recipe, and it's going to be a lot easier. So we're going to make some turkey breast, and we're also going to make some sautéed green beans with some walnuts, cranberries, and some shallots. So let's go ahead and get started. So here I have a 3-pound turkey breast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to season it, but while I'm seasoning it, I'm going to start getting this air fryer heated up. So all I have to do is press the power button, and it's already set for the temperature at 350 degrees. So I'm just going to hit play so it warms up. By the time I finish seasoning the turkey breast, that'll be heated up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to pour about half a tablespoon of olive oil all over the actual meat part. I'm going to get right underneath the skin. So I'm going to pour that there. And then with my fingers, I'm going to release the skin and rub that in right underneath the skin. I'm not going to pull the skin out completely because I'm going to leave the skin on when I cook the turkey. But I want to get that olive oil as much as I can underneath that skin. So I did half a tablespoon. This is a messy job, but that's okay. And if you want to use gloves, then you can as well. And just to let you know, this turkey breast has the bone in, and I just removed the rib bones, but it still has more bones in it. So all I did was remove the rib bones. All right, now I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna pour another half tablespoon of olive oil on this. All right, so now that my hands are clean, I'm gonna grab the measuring spoon again. So if you do have gloves, it's better. That way you can just change your gloves and you don't have to wash your hands. So I'm gonna pour the other half of a tablespoon now on top of the skin and in the back as well. So I'm gonna get the entire turkey covered with the olive oil. So essentially the olive oil is going to serve as the glue where that is going to help for the salt and the seasoning to stick into it. And of course it's going to give it flavor. So I'm trying to get that olive oil everywhere there. All right, now I'm going to wash my hands again, and then I'm going to pour the seasoning. Okay, now I'm going to pour the salt on the turkey. So essentially what you need is half a teaspoon of salt for every pound of turkey. I have 3 pounds here, then I have a teaspoon and a half. So I'm going to start with a half teaspoon and just get that sprinkled on top. And then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to sprinkle the other half in this side. And then the last half, I'm gonna sprinkle it underneath the skin and kind of here in the bone area. Just trying to get it everywhere. And then you massage it. So you make sure that every single crevice gets that salt. The skin, underneath the skin. Okay, now I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll add the poultry seasoning. All right, so we already added the salt. Again, it was half a teaspoon per pound. And then I have just regular poultry seasoning without salt in it. You can grab whichever brand. So I have a tablespoon here, which is more than enough for 3 pounds. You could even use a tablespoon for 4 pounds, so I'm probably not gonna use the whole thing. But again, this doesn't have salt, so if you wanna pour a whole tablespoon on the 3 pounds, go for it. The more seasoning, the more intense the flavor is going to be. So I'm just gonna sprinkle this, trying to get it around the turkey as evenly as possible. Then I'm gonna massage it in. I'm gonna use the whole thing, why not? I love flavor. All right, so let me massage this in now, on the skin, underneath the skin. Careful not to cut yourself with the little bones. Get it on the skin. All right, so that is it. The turkey is seasoned. All I have to do is wait for this to heat up, and then I'll put the turkey in there. Okay, so now the air fryer has preheated. So I'm going to put the turkey breast with the skin side down. So I'm gonna go around the table and show you how to do that. Okay. So I set up the temperature again to 350 degrees, and then I set the time for 20 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. It looks like I'm gonna have to activate that again. Like I said, you grab the turkey breast and you're gonna put it skin side down in the basket. There's a lot of space inside these air fryers. You'd be surprised. You think you can't cook a 3-pound or a 4-pound turkey breast in here, but you can. This one is a larger size air fryer, so you probably would benefit from getting a large one. Okay, so the temperature and the time stayed the same, so all I have to do is hit play again. And now the air fryer is already preheated, so I know it's getting to that 350 temperature right away. And then it's gonna count down the 20 minutes. So once those 20 minutes are over, I'm gonna turn it and leave it for another 30 or 40 minutes until the internal temperature is at least 160 degrees. Now, while the turkey breast is cooking in the air fryer, I'm gonna start preparing my green beans. So I already have the tips cut off and rinsed. I've got a 1/4 cup of the 50% less sugar craisins. Now I have a little bit less than a 1/4 cup, maybe about 3 tablespoons. You don't want a whole lot of these because even though they're the 50% less sugar, they still have some sugar. We just want a little bit, just a touch to the recipe. And then a 1/4 cup of walnuts. And I've got 1 shallot that I'm gonna slice. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees because we're gonna toast the almonds. That's what I'm gonna do first. So I'm going to chop these roughly, real quick. Just gently so that they don't fly off everywhere. All right. And at 350 degrees, these walnuts will need maybe 15 minutes in the oven to toast, but make sure you keep an eye on them because they can burn easily. So put these in. And I'll check them in about 12 minutes just to make sure. Now I'm gonna slice the shallots. So I cut them in half, one shallot in half lengthwise. I'm gonna cut the tips off and then slice it thin. If you don't have shallots at home, you can use onions. That's perfectly fine as an alternative. Oops. All right, shallots are sliced. I also have a pot of water that's heating up to a boil because I am gonna boil these for 3 or 4 minutes just to soften them up a little bit before we saute them. Okay, the walnuts should be ready now, so I'm gonna pull those out from the oven. As you can see, the water for the green beans is boiling, but before I get onto the green beans, I'm gonna show you what we need to do next with the turkey. So the turkey is finished the first 20 minutes. So I'm gonna open it up and you can see, if you can see, it's looking really nice, starting to brown. It did the first 20 minutes skin side down, and now we're gonna do an additional 30 to 40 minutes skin side up. I'm probably gonna set it up to 30 minutes. If it was 4 pounds, I would probably go for 40 minutes. And I'm gonna check the temperature throughout the way because I wanna make sure I don't overcook the turkey. So the water is boiling. I've got 1 pound of green beans here, trimmed, cleaned, rinsed. And I'm just gonna toss them in the water and they're gonna boil for 3 to 4 minutes. We just wanna get them starting to soften up a bit. I personally like green beans with I like them al dente. I don't like them super soft. So I'm gonna boil them for no more than 3 minutes. I've had these boiling for 3 minutes, so I'm gonna remove them from the heat. And I'm gonna put them straight in my icy water here because I wanna stop the cooking process. That's what that's for. I don't like the soft green beans, so I don't want them to continue cooking. Now, if you like them soft, then you don't necessarily have to follow the ice bath step. That's completely up to you. A large skillet to medium heat, and I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and swirl it around all around the pan. And I'm going to cook the shallots first until they're lightly browned. Okay, so they're starting to brown a little bit. I want to make sure not to burn them. Now I'm gonna add the green beans just to heat them through because they were in an ice cold bath before. Get that mixed in. Now I'm gonna season them to taste with salt and pepper. Add the dried cranberries, the chopped toasted walnuts, mix them up, and that is it. Now that the turkey has finished the last 30 minutes, I'm gonna remove it from the oven and let it rest for a few minutes in my cutting board. Now I'm gonna let this rest for 10 minutes before I carve it, and then we're gonna plate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and carve this real quick. I'm not the best at carving, so bear with me. I just do whatever makes sense for me. It's really hot. I grabbed a fork because it's way too hot so that it's easier for me to cut it. All right, so I think that's enough so that we can plate. Let me go grab a plate. This looks so delicious, so tasty. And now I am going to plate the green beans. And there you go. It looks pretty. High protein, you've got your veggies in, you've got your holiday flavors in, so you're good. I hope you enjoy it.